What will happen to the Terracotta Cameraman? What is the meaning behind the TV woman TV on the book? What is the meaning behind the secret agent owning the lab? Why do the toilets have Titan Cameraman's old arm? Today I will answer all of these questions and much more. Greetings, my dear viewers, the Square on Air. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like button under the video to speed up the release of the next analytical video. Also, don't forget to join my Discord as the latest news are always there. Otherwise, let's begin. The episode starts with exact same scene where we left off in the last part, where the cameramen are going up and the lights suddenly start to flash, and we once again start to hear banging noises coming from the roof. Then, see a hole in the roof, and we see a cameraman staring at us. Right after this, a toilet with a black ski mask comes right beside him and throws him down towards us. And we quickly hear a beeping noise and all of the agents start to back up and a bomb explodes. Then the skibidi toilet in the black ski mask decides to go down, while also stabbing an agent. All the operators start using their stun gun to paralyze this toilet, but this skibidi toilet is quite familiar to the one that Titan Speakerman took care of and sat down on his toilet. The only difference I see between these two toilets is the size, and some other weapons that he now has due to the technology upgrading. Anyways, after this, we see how the Dark Speakerman shot his daggers right into his eyes, blinding him while also being paralyzed. And another beeping noise starts to sound, and the cameraman who got stabbed did not give up and decided to sacrifice himself for the sake of the other agents. W's in chat to pay respects. Koe-on, guys, make the mission successful for this cameraman. After this, we see how the cameramen have their heads down, which means they are in a sad posture. After this, Plunger Cameraman goes to pick up the gun the agent had. Then, we see how the elevator is about to drop down, but the Dark Speakerman decides to act fast and bring the agents to safety. Plunger Cameraman decides to use his claws to climb up, and we see how the Dark Speakerman reaches his hand out to help and gets rejected. I'm sorry for all of you Plunger Cameraman fans, but this dude is being a bozo. Dark Speakerman didn't do anything wrong, bruh. Like you're making him feel sad. After this, we start to walk through pure darkness and we can hear toilets singing the Skibidi Bop Yes Yes song. Then we enter night vision mode and start to crouch while walking towards a door. Suddenly the lights turn on and the agents get caught. Terracotta Cameraman uses his device to open the door. Then we start to run through every door. After we enter another bunker door, which is the one from the leaks. Us analysis YouTubers got treated good in this episode with all of the secrets there is in this part. After all of the agents come inside this bunker, we start to turn, and this is where it gets interesting. First of all, we see one Titan Speakerman's daggers on the top, and it is literally huge. This is how big the Titans really are, but how did it get here? In episode 67 part 2, we saw how the Titan Speakerman shot one of his daggers at the scientist's toilet, which it literally disappeared out of nowhere. I really can't think of another way they could have gotten this dagger, other than the toilets having the Titan Speakerman infected, but he didn't really have daggers back then. Anyways, that's besides the point now. Let's continue. When we turn a little bit more to the side, we see a Strider Toilets camera, which is literally crazy because we haven't seen these things for so long now. They only have the camera and not the legs, so my theory is that the Skibidi Striders were formed like this. Perhaps they stole the legs from the camera Striders and produced Skibidi Striders instead. Either way, now we are about to get into the most interesting parts of this episode. Above the Strider's head, we see Titan Cameraman's old arm he lost in episode 20, which is literally crazy that the toilets have it here. I have one of the most craziest theories coming up after we describe this last object. More to the side, we see Titan Speakerman's old speakers, which is actually crazy to think about. They have Titan Speakerman's dagger, Strider Toilet camera, Titan Cameraman's arm, and Titan Speakerman's speaker. My theory is that all of these objects will be reused. For example, Titan Cameraman will use his old arm, and Titan Speakerman will use his old speaker, since we know that he lost his large speaker in episode 67. Perhaps they will use all of their old weapons. And Titan Speakerman also get this dagger, which I think he lost all of them while in battle. Perhaps we will also see upgraded Strider cameras come. But you may now be wondering, how will they get all this stuff out? Perhaps the reinforcements team will arrive, and they will retreat the objects to repair the Titans. Since they also have large TV man, they might be able to teleport these objects outside the base. Otherwise, let's continue. After, we start to go towards a document which is practically like a newspaper but in Skibidi language. On the top, we see a word that clearly says Skibidi on it, but doesn't say toilet, but still. On the sides of this word, we see circle shapes on it, which actually reminded me of the thing that the Astro Toilet tried to kill G-Man with in episode 60. This also looks like the logo Titan Cameraman has on his side. I think I am paying too much attention to this newspaper. The most interesting part of this newspaper is the fact that the scientist toilet and the astro toilet are both facing each other like they were about to battle. This can actually be a really big advantage for the Alliance since the strongest Skibidi toilets will be in battle. Let's say the two astro toilets versus the two faggots. G-Man and scientist. This can be an advantage because the strongest toilets will be distracted, and the agents can go on missions while they are distracted and retrieve the objects. They can also go on other missions. But that's besides the point now. Let's continue. When we look to the front, we see a poster that says, Alpha Hills Labs gets a new administrator. Government-sponsored underground laboratory assigns a new administrator. I don't know what the rest says besides the word details and secretary, but if we look to the top right corner, we see numbers which say 2/7, 1979, which if you didn't know means February 7th, 1979. I'm gonna have to ask my grandma what happened then. But I am guessing that it has something to do with the laboratory. But coincidentally, it's actually the date that Skibidi Toilet will be 2-year-old. Time goes flying fast, huh? Here is my theory for this laboratory. Perhaps the secret agent is trying to get his lab back, and he will grant the agents a price or he will simply just betray them. I don't think that's the case, but in this picture we see several scientists. This is meaning that the scientist and skulls we saw on the ground was one of these. But that can't be all of them. Perhaps the Skibidi scientist worked here, but due to the infection he turned into scientist toilet. Also, this scientist right here actually turned into a toilet, which could mean that scientist toilets come from the lab, and with their intelligence, instead of killing them, they turned them into toilets. Because this scientist right here actually is a Skibidi toilet. Here is a picture of him on screen. But now you are wondering, how did the secret agent escape? Maybe he invented mixes or inventions that gave him powers, like the teleport ability. Perhaps he used this ability to teleport out of the bunker, and now he is here trying to get this laboratory back. This could also mean that the creator of the toilets is the secret agent. Anyways, let's continue. After this we turn and we see the Terracotta Cameraman point at a book, which for some reason has TV woman head on it. Perhaps this is how the toilets got a hold of the red, purple, and blue beam, by looking at this book. But how did it get here? There have been many theories out there on how the TV agents are traitors, but I don't think that is the case. Another theory is that before the TV men went on the Alliance side, they were with the toilets, and this could have been how they got this book. The Terracotta Cameraman got a little bit disappointed since it's literally the TV man, bruh. After this, the Terracotta Cameraman gets grabbed by a wannabe Dr. Octavius. But this is actually the saddest moment for me, at least. The Terracotta Cameraman was my favorite character, but unfortunately he got defeated. But there is still hope he is alive with one of the next theories. After he gets grabbed by Octavius' toilet, he gets thrown towards glass which shattered into pieces. After this, we see the Octavius toilet turn on a red TV beam, which we can now see that other toilets can have this besides the scientist. But now we see how the agents get hypnotized into killing themselves. On the screen it says kill yourself backwards and it spans it. So that's why the cameraman go crazy when this happens. After this, the large speakerman comes in and tries to rescue both Plunger and the other agent. He manages to save Plunger Cameraman, but we see how the other agent ended his life. After this, Plunger Cameraman throws his spike plunger at the screen of the Octavius toilet and shoots 2 darts into his eyes. After this, Dark Speakerman uses his speakers and Plunger Cameraman grabs the spike plunger and smushed it into him. After this, Dark Speakerman nods at the Plunger Cameraman. He walks towards the Terracotta. Cameraman grabs the device while looking at him with a sad vibe. Plunger Cameraman hears glass breaking, and it was Dark Speakerman grabbing a spear. After this, Plunger Cameraman turns around and sees a jetpack and headphones. This is the same things that the Reinforced had. But how did it get here? This proves that there is an actual traitor in the Alliance, because how else could have they gotten this gear? There definitely is a traitor, and this is getting more and more scary because we don't even know who it is. Let's continue analyzing it. After this, Plunger Cameraman uses the device to open the door, and we see that there is only 2 remaining agents left. Plunger Cameraman and Dark Speakerman. This was all there is to this episode. And to be honest, I am kinda scared because I don't want to see none of these agents die. But we'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and also join my Discord. And may the force of the square be with you. Good luck.